growth creates
complexity.
Complexity.
And complexity kills growth. I don't want a small heaven. And I don't want a small church.
For this person to encounter Jesus and to receive his miracle, it was costly to someone. You know, and like I think a lot of times, for whatever reason, you know, we refrain from doing things because we know it's going to cost us. You know? I think it just speaks to desperation. You know what I mean? Like when you're desperate for a move or touch of God, like
you'll tear a ceiling off. So we're going to rip roofs off. We're going to tear off the roof. We're going to do whatever we have to do to keep making more room so that more people can find Jesus.
Bada bing, bada boom. We're back.
Pow.
Come on now.
Bada bing, bada boom.
It's like the old comics.
Yeah, kapow. Did you ever watch? This is a weird way to start it, but did you ever watch the Batman TV series from like the 60s?
The original? Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's what they do those fight scenes and they'd be like kapow.
My parents were like, it's funny now having kids, but you know, I couldn't watch anything that was like current. And so everything that was old was like good.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, but I didn't even know. So I was watching Batman thinking like, this is cool. Not realizing all these kids are watching the new animated
the
things. And I was like talking about Batman. Like, oh, no, we're not talking about the same Batman. Okay, cool.
We're not talking about the same Batman.
My Batman's in black and white. And, you know, I don't know, dude.
My Batman's out of shape and wears tights. You know, like that.
Smokes a cigarette after he knocks someone out, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man. No.
Wild. Well, anyways, here we are.
Episode 25. We're a quarter of 100.
Dude, we're
a fourth.
We're a fourth.
We're a fourth of 100.
We're a fourth today. That's crazy.
And man, I think it's actually interesting. You think about like, next week will be half a year, which is crazy.
I wonder how 26. Many podcasts make it to 25.
Oh, okay. On our, we are gonna do a post, but on our Spotify Wrapped, there was a stat that was interesting. It was like, I'm gonna butcher it, but it was something to like top 15% of podcasts make it as far.
That's right.
Released as many episodes as you are. I forget how they phrased it, but it was like, okay,
that's it.
Top 15%.
Top, dude. We're 15 percenters.
That's right. Don't sleep on us.
Yeah, don't sleep on us.
We're coming.
That's right. We're crushing.
But for the first, maybe the first time. It may be the first time that in our If I Had More Time podcast history that you have taught a non-Acts passage.
Second time.
There was another one. Okay,
there was another one. There was another one, and I can't remember. It was. Was
it Romans?
No, it was in Mark too. Interestingly enough.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it was in Mark, and it was about the boy, the demon possessed boy.
Oh yeah,
and the dad.
Right. That's right. Okay.
That's crazy.
All right.
Mark. So we've been in Acts and Mark this whole year.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But I got to for this week. I kind of jump out. Kind of a special weekend for Rhythm Church.
Yes.
Where we take time and honor that we're as a church that we're taking as a church legacy offering.
Yep.
And so, a mark of our church is we've always said we want to be a generous church, right? Yep. Generosity is our 100%. Privilege. And so dedicating a weekend to being intentional about our generosity.
It'll be about being generous.
Yeah.
Not again, it's like giving. If you give the threshold, that's not generous. Mm-hmm. Above, it's generous. And so, that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
We want to be a generous church, and a generous church should be made up of generous people. I think we talked about this on the last one, though.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we claim generosity when we're not. And man, was it? I don't know did we talk about on this, but it was like a buddy of mine actually said it to his church. He was like, we're a generous church, but that doesn't mean that you're generous.
Right. Yeah.
It means that the church that you go to is generous. I was like, oh dang.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I mean, and maybe talk a little bit about like, and there's kind of a cool story of how you decided or the Spirit kind of impressed upon you to teach this passage.
Yeah. So we were at Wednesday morning prayer, and we were praying through generosity, and the Lord just laid this passage on my heart heavy. And it was so just
Ooh.
And so we prayed through, like, like, let us be those that'll tear a roof off,
Right.
and then it kind of led me through, like, the other thing of, like, the Lord spoke through Ed Newton back last January that we have the oil and, the jars of oil. But the oil only stopped when the jars ran out. And so in my thing, I was like, let's pray through, like, Lord, just keep giving us jars,
Right.
like spaces, buildings to fill with oil.
Yeah.
And so, but I didn't preach on that, but that was in that moment. So I was just like, yeah, I think I have to preach Mark 2 for our legacy thing, because, our legacy deals make room. And that's what Mark 2 is about.
Yeah.
It's about making space for people to get before Jesus.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think between last weekend and then also with this week, I think what's really cool is people maybe becoming just more aware that we have to make room as a church.
Yes.
I think obviously for us who work at the church and leadership or whatever,
Yep.
we're acutely aware of all the things. But
Yeah.
maybe you're only watching online or
Right.
you come to one service only, and you're like, oh yeah, there's more people here, but not realizing just the full context of what's happening at the church. Like that's totally like reasonable that like most people wouldn't know.
Bro, if Thursday night's your service, you're like, we're fine.
Yeah.
Because we have seats, like, less and less as the year's gone on.
Yeah.
Same thing, kind of 8:30. It's like, there's some services where it's a little bit too full, but other times, you got like, you got some space. But you come to the 10, or a lot of times the 11:30, it's like, where are we going to put people?
Right.
And so, or even like at the 8:30 with, again, that's like the demographic a lot of times is young families. And so we have a packed family room.
Yeah.
And, maybe some seats in the sanctuary, but you can't, it's not that you can't, but you're like, if your kid's giggling and wiggling and whiny, it's tough to sit in the sanctuary. So you go to the family room. Well, we've had so many people in the family room. It's like, there's no room in the family room.
Right.
So that's why we're actually going to start our backyard at 8:30 as well too. Might be a little bit chillier, but it managed space. And so
you gotta be creative.
You got to be creative, innovative, and creative. And so that's like what we've seen this last year at our church is it's miraculous, really. And it's been really sweet to see. And it's also, I mean, because you're on staff and you experience it, it comes with like a cost.
Yeah.
I'm not talking financial. Well, it does actually come at a cost financially, but just the cost of like our time and resources and where we're back here trying to figure out parking plans and trying to figure out how do we make more space in the sanctuary? What do we tear out? What do we do? So.
Well, it's like I think Larry said it right. Dr. Larry Osborne.
Dr. Larry Osborne.
But Larry,
Shout out Larry.
growth creates
complexity.
Complexity
kills growth.
So it's like, with the growth we have seen, which is amazing, but it has caused more complexities and more. We've had to grow up on the fly. Yeah. And really fast and figure out things from staff organization to parking to just managing the calendar of how many events are happening on a daily basis here. It's not just Sundays,
right?
Our
building just about 24/7.
Just about every day, there's another 100-something people on campus for something, or young adults, or some events, or
it's crazy, man.
Youth or all the things. Yeah, there's something happening. So it has caused a lot of maybe problems, but it's just caused so many complexities. Of things that we've had to figure out, and we will always want to try and make room for more people. And last year, or this year, 2025, our campaign was maximize, which we definitely did.
We maximized. Now we're like, we maximized.
We gotta make room as much as we can, and now it's time to make room.
Now it's time to make room.
Yeah,
that's that. Yeah, growth brings complexity. Complexity kills growth. So in order to fix complexity, you have to bring systems, and systems help simplify. And so we're in that mode right now. And it's cranking, and and it's like I said this in the message, and so I mean I'm sure I said it in all the services, but it is that thing. Okay, well, what did you guys do to produce the growth? And you can look at, okay, well, we started a Thursday night service that helped grow, but not 80%.
Right. Right.
Or we got smaller chairs to fit more people in the sanctuary, but not 80%.
Right.
Well, we started in the backyard. Yeah, but these were things that
Those
we
are
did in
reactive.
reaction. These were like,
we should
yeah.
do something
It was
quickly.
If we were more strategic, we could be like, you know what we did?
Yeah.
You know, like we came up with this idea of a backyard venue, and we thought if we did that and we marketed right, it was like, oh, we got to do it. We got to make room.
Yeah.
So we've even though we've maximized, and we've been kind of making room all year long. So we've maximized now where it's make room. And the reason, again, coming back to what I said in each service was, it's because of the presence of Jesus and the Word of God.
Right.
Like that's what brought the growth is for 6 years now we've gone after the presence. Mm-hmm. We didn't want to do church without the presence of God, and we preach the Word.
Yeah.
And so I think like that's more and more I think what we've seen.
Yeah.
This last little bit. And I know that there are other churches that are similar like that have experienced a lot of growth too.
Totally.
Because where Jesus is, people will show up.
Yeah.
Like you see that all throughout the Gospels. You see that all throughout just kind of, historically where the presence of God shows up, people gather either out of curiosity.
Right.
Or, for a healing or for whatever that, like if you study church history and you study revivals, where the presence of God is honored and welcomed, he shows up, and then people follow.
Right.
And that's what we have here, Mark 2, is Jesus comes back into town, into Capernaum, and starts teaching in a house. And it says such large numbers.
Right.
And it's funny, like, when you get into like pastors' gatherings, and people are always like, how many people go to your church and stuff? And it's kind of like lame, honestly. But at the same time, it does matter.
Right.
Not how many people are going to your church, but it does, like, numbers matter. I mean, there's a whole book on it, the Bible.
Right. Yeah.
But you go through the Gospels and it says they fed 5,000 men.
Right.
So you would assume women and children, so that's probably 15,000. But like they name that, they put the number out there.
Yeah.
And because that number communicates something. So it isn't like none of this for us right now is we're talking about 80% growth, and we're talking about 1,400, 1,500 people on a weekend. It's not like it
doesn't validate or it's not a
no.
vanity thing.
Not at all. It's just hey, this is the reality. Right. It actually helps the rest of our church understand, it's more than just this service.
It's context, yeah.
It's context. Yeah. It's like, wow, there's actually, okay, so we do have to make room. But it says such a large number. Now, again, for them, a large number was the most it would probably be at Peter's house would have been 100 people.
Right.
And, but again, that's 10% of a city of 1,000. And like, that's pretty good, pretty good percentages there as far as how many people they're reaching in that city. But I mean, again, such large numbers that there wasn't any room.
Yeah. And
so you have these guys that come and get creative on how to make space.
Right.
They kind of do it in essence a construction project.
Right. Right.
Like to a house that isn't theirs.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny. But that was like looking at where we're headed and just knowing that like we want to keep reaching more people.
Yeah.
Because that's Jesus's heart.
Right.
I don't want a small heaven. And I don't want a small church.
Yeah.
Capital C church. Like I want it to explode everywhere. And so
I wonder even to speak to that, because I do think there are people who maybe they've been with us from the beginning or whatever the case is. I think for a season there was an allure of Rhythm Church because it was there was a people would say things like, "Oh, well, we love Rhythm because it's a small church."
Yeah.
Right?
I still hear that.
And we still hear that. Yeah,
still hear that. Yeah.
And so I think there maybe speak to, there are some people that might even be hearing this, or maybe even, or again, they're becoming more aware of the weekend of like, wait a minute,
right?
Rhythm's growing.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
And that's just reality. Like
sure.
I think some people do, whatever their speed is just, they love the smaller context.
Yeah.
Not, whatever the case is, it's great to people all the time say, I love Rhythm because I can like talk to Jeff.
Yeah.
Like,
I get to know them. I get to know my pastor.
I get to know which is great. I mean, that's
it's huge.
Like, we love that and
we love
whatnot.
that. Yeah.
But also, maybe speak to again, just our greater mandate and just like what we're trying to do here, and obviously to make room, right, for more people, but then holding both of those in the hand together.
Yeah, it's a tension for sure, because I want to maintain a small feeling for people, because you don't get swallowed up and you get known. And so whether that's, future like spaces, like there's a whole group of people that I'll go like, I haven't seen so and so for a while. It's, oh, well, they're in the backyard every weekend. You're like, oh, okay,
right.
And which is great. Now it's kind of maintaining that thing. Okay, so now you go back there and you have your crowd, your people, your clique or whatever, and it's awesome. So we'll continue to create spaces like that. It would be, we'll just keep doing a bunch of like mini venues everywhere until we get a bigger venue.
Right.
But even within that, like I think, again, kind of shout out to Larry. That's what they did really well, is they kept rooms smaller, but you have to have somebody that's able to connect with and love and all that stuff. With people wanting to know, and this is the interesting thing too, is that I don't want rhythm built on me. It's got to be built on Jesus.
Totally.
And so whether you get to talk to me or not is great. And side note, Sundays aren't always the best time to talk to me anyways, because I've got a million things going on my mind. I've got the next service coming up or whatever. And I've been told that I sometimes don't look like I'm really nice. I'm like, well, I'm like the nicest guy in the world. I love people. Like, what the heck? But it's that thing of, like I've got resting thinking face on,
right.
Hey,
that's a good one.
That's a good one. It's my thinking face. And so people are like, does Jeff hate me? I'm like, oh no, man.
Yeah.
So that is kind of actually interesting. But we want to reach North County, San Diego, and we want to reach the West Coast. I believe that we have a particular gifting towards that. Again, the West Coast is more of the lost coast when it comes to the United States, and then we do want to reach the world. It goes beyond this, but like it's kind of like how we're like, right, let's drill down North County as best we can. Let's plant some churches up the West Coast, and let's get the gospel out to the world, because there are people out there that need to get before Jesus, like the paralyzed man,
right?
And they're not gonna go by themselves, right, or they're not gonna get there on their own, right? So that's what we're about. Like unapologetically, is we are going to reach people, and people like, again, because especially, if you're coming from like a giant 3,000 seat auditorium, that fills up, once or twice on a Sunday, and you come to a church that seats 300,
right.
It's small,
totally.
For sure. But the other thing, again, with trying to keep it small, and this is where, like, to do this 4 times, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot on volunteers. It's a lot on staff. It's a lot on those who teach.
It's a lot on you.
A lot on me, And so if we're thinking long haul and health long haul, eventually there does have to be a bigger space where we can, or multiple venues or something where it starts to spread out. But, and the interesting thing too, is a lot of people don't know we don't own our building.
Right.
So that we do have a shelf life here. Because every time I talk about a different building, like, oh, but we love this building. I'm like, I do too.
Right.
But it's not ours.
Right.
Oh, but the stained glass. I get it. If I can, maybe we'll try to take it with us when we go somewhere else. But like, this is not like ours.
Right.
And so there's the real of that. But the presence of Jesus is like what made in Mark 2 the house packed was not the house.
Right. Come on.
I love the stonework in here. The roof is so dirt.
Right.
It was that Jesus was in there, man.
Come on.
And so,
come on,
wherever we go, even if it's like a warehouse, or no house, I don't know, we're gonna do it. So, because that's what fills it. That's what you saw in Mark 2, man. Is Jesus is in the house, and so people show up. 250 square foot building. Yeah.
And I think, like, again, it just speaks again to our vision and our mission, right, as a church, right? And we've said this before in other messages, but healthy things grow.
They do.
So we again, we're focusing on making things healthy. Yep. And I think a byproduct of that is growth. Yep. Right. And again, we want to see people saved. Yeah. We want to see people. You think about. Again, we've grown, right? So when we first started, we were, 200-300-ish kind of sort of. It's kind of hard to like really that season.
Yeah.
But
well, because there was COVID. So I mean, when we popped off, we had like 600 people, like 630 some people at our launch.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Right.
I was like praying, like, God, let there be a few hundred that show up.
Right.
That happened. Then right before COVID hit, we were like in the 4s. We were like mid 400s.
Yeah.
And then COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we were like, I don't know who's with us.
Right.
Or what's
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah.
And then we were on the lawn, and that was wild.
Yeah.
And that could only fit so many people. And I think that's when we were like around a few hundred to 400. But then I don't even know how many, because people would stay for multiple services because they were only a half hour long.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like, and there was nothing else to do. So it's like, I'll sit on the lawn here for a couple hours.
Right.
You know?
But you think about like the people, like if we would have been like, oh, we're going to keep it. This,
right. Oh, we're just going to keep it this.
Right.
Yeah.
Like how many people, like, man, we just came from, Thursday night service, but you see faces of people that have come this year, and the kids have gotten plugged in, or
and they got baptized.
People got
this year.
married, had kids, got baptized.
Yeah.
People who've come from really, their stories, and you know what God has saved them from.
Yep.
And you start to see stories of people, and you go, if we would have said no, we're going to keep it small. Like how many of these people would have missed out,
right?
Possibly on encountering the Lord, right? And so, it's making room. It's not just making room for numbers. It's making room for encounters. It's making
room for miracles. It's making room, dude. Yeah.
And again, you think, get back to the story. Like they were making room for their friend, for this guy, to encounter Jesus and to receive a miracle that he desperately needed.
Yeah.
And like, if they hadn't have made room for him, would he have gone on to continue to be paralyzed the rest of life? We don't. Scripture doesn't say. Scripture doesn't say. But like, you know what I mean? Like, because they were willing to go that extra mile and to make that room for him, he was able in that moment to encounter Jesus.
Exactly. They cared enough.
Yeah.
They cared enough to carry somebody, and they take him to a house,
right?
Because Jesus is there, and Jesus is there teaching the word, and it's so again, if people. You can actually Google and look at Peter's house. Yeah. And we've been there in person. And I don't know what exactly is the original or what was built later. Like there's actually there's the main room. There's and a few like walls that have been built around. So either Peter had like a pretty decent sized house, but if Jesus is teaching, they're only in one room.
Right.
But people were spilling out of the doorway.
Yeah.
There's if you look at the house, there's actually a little courtyard area. So maybe they were spilling in there. So there's probably 100 or so people, if that. And to get him up on the roof, they had to carry him, right? Because they're carrying him on a mat. And the other thing too, like to hit real quickly, that I don't know if I went into, but because this man is paralyzed, and because he is socially marginalized, right? They cared enough to reach to like grab somebody who you would walk by on the street and not care about, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like a lot of times paralytics, like they had to beg to make money, and they cared. They cared enough to grab him.
Yeah.
And then to carry him all the way up on the roof, and then to rip through that roof, dude, to tear off the ceiling, bro.
Yeah.
Which is inconvenient, which is costly. Which is, so you know what? Before we kind of jump into that, to hit the amount of people, it's just large numbers, stuffed in a house, because Jesus is there. The church world is weird, and what I mean is that like church strategy is great. Like people want to know, how did you grow? Right? Well, by presence of God and the Word of God. But there's like rules, and there are. I mean, I think I do believe in like room dynamics 100%. Definitely, has to feel good. All of that creates a vibe. Whatever, I'm down for sure. But there's the idea within the church is that like, well, people will only like once it's 80% full, it's full. Because people are not going to like stuff themselves in there. And then I would go, okay. I mean, if Jesus is there, they're spilling out of the door.
Right. Yeah.
Jesus was like, you know what? you know? And then the other thing that's interesting is what other industry is like shoots for 80%?
Right. Yeah.
The airlines aren't like, we just want our airplanes 80% full.
Yeah. It'd be nice if that was the case.
That would be dope. But I mean, like we want to like 100% capacity. Let's go.
Right.
And because again, if the Lord's there, then let's freaking rock it.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I think it's a trip. I wish that I could have given maybe a better visual of what it was like. So The Chosen does this, and they don't do it historically accurate. So, anyways, neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But because they're like removing like wood planks as they're doing it, and there's like I think there's like an Egyptian woman up there too, or Ethiopian woman. You're like, no, they didn't say there was a lady up there,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some men, and but for them to actually dig through the roof and then lower the man down, the amount of energy and the work that takes, and it isn't just one person, right? It's been multiple. And I don't know how they again, maybe they tied ropes. I'm not sure what they did, but they got him down there,
right,
in the front of everybody, because there was a real belief.
Well, it's like it's sacrificial.
It is.
It's like sacrificial, again, time and all, hard work, all that stuff. But they sacrifice something. They sacrifice for their friend, for this person, right? And like it cost them something.
Yeah. It does. It costs.
And I think that's like I think so often I you hear that story and it's like, look at these guys, like, and it's like we make it about the guys and what they did, but it's like, but it cost them something.
It did.
And like, this for this person to encounter Jesus and to receive his miracle, it was costly to somebody, and like, I think a lot of times for whatever reason, we refrain from doing things because we know it's going to cost us, and like to your point, like maybe it does cost you, comfort, it's discomfort, it's inconvenience, it's a financial cost, it's a time cost, it might make you look kind of silly and weird or whatever the case is, but like there's a cost to it, and I just don't think that, I don't know. I don't think we think about that often enough. Or I think we think about it, but I think we
I mean, look at the cost all the way around, right? It's the cost of their time. It's the cost of their energy, their resource. It's the cost of a roof. I mean, I wonder if Peter's over there kind of freaking out, like, bro.
I've always thought like everyone leaves and he's like, is someone gonna pay for this? Excuse me,
guy just got up and walked out of here.
Excuse me. Maybe with your newfound movement, you can build me a new roof, man.
Maybe, just maybe, we could. Okay,
hope you're a skilled. I hope you're a subcontractor over here. No,
right. She's looking at it. I mean, it was an inconvenience in that sense all the way around. It was. I mean, the people in the room that are hearing Jesus teach all of a sudden see like the roof open up, dirt falling down, and a man all of a sudden just lowered. It was also too, like, I appreciate, we didn't get into this, but again, the vulnerability of the man on the mat to come before Jesus. And sometimes we don't realize how vulnerable coming to church is for people, especially if you're a church guy. If you're a church person, you've been here, you do this, you know the things. Some of you guys grew up in church, some of you didn't. And so, but for those that have been a part of it for a minute, you go to church. But some people, it's scary.
Dude, I just had this conversation with our young adult team, and I said, think about the person that's showing up for the first time and how scary it is. And it was funny. We're sending out text. I've been sending out text to all the people in our church, 18 to 30. So if you had texted me, that's why. You're in that age range. At least on your profile, you are. And one guy hits me back and goes, man, I've been wanting to come for a couple weeks, but man, I've been like really scared.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, man, it's okay. I understand. Like for some people that like, yeah, if you didn't grow up in church, like that is intimidating. There's hundreds of people in the room. Yeah. They all seem to know what to do and what to do. And they're hanging out and talking. And
they know the words.
I don't know what's going on.
They turn to the book. Yeah.
And that absolutely for people that can be a hindrance, or just can be like it's a scary thing. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so for us to be aware of and think about, I've been talking about that with the young adult team of like, hey, like think about people for their first time, what that. And I've heard stories of people who show up to church and sit in their car for 20 minutes. Service is going on, and they're like, they've been trying to work up the courage to come inside. You know, that's a vulnerable spot.
It is a vulnerable spot, and especially when, like, for this guy, his issues laid bare in front of everyone. I mean, everyone more than likely knows who this guy is in your city of a town of 1,000 people, 1,500 people.
Yeah.
I mean, like you think about your high school, you knew most people or somehow, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you at least seen them. So they know. And when Jesus says to him, your sins are forgiven.
Right.
Oof.
Right.
I wonder what that did to him in that moment a little bit, And I do like, because I've never seen this before really either, is that these Pharisees always, or the teachers of the law, always get a really bad rap.
Yeah.
They're like, of course they're wondering to themselves, who does this guy think he is?
Right. Totally.
He just forgave sins?
Right.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
He can't do that. Only God can do that.
Right.
That's only the Lord's job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how is this guy doing this? This is realizing then, wow, this is a moment. So I know maybe I'll add this in on Sunday, but when we're open and honest about our issues, when we live on display, and then we experience healing from them, that shows the divinity of God or Jesus,
right.
The divinity of Jesus.
Right.
Like he really is a miracle worker,
a
way maker, a life changer.
Yeah.
And
That's
if
good.
we're always trying as believers to be like prim, proper, and like, oh, it was never anything wrong with me.
Yeah.
But really like to like lay out, I've had these issues, I've gone through these things, and the Lord's worked in my life.
Yeah.
It shows. I do say this, that like the result of this is that Jesus's messiahship is seen.
Right.
He is Savior.
Yeah.
And again, it always comes back to, especially for this message, that's what we want.
Yeah.
We want people to see who Jesus is, that he is Lord, that he forgives sins, that he heals people, and this man gets fully restored.
Mm-hmm.
And I think over this last year, how many people we've seen just restored.
Yeah.
Marriage is healed. People given hope again.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so, I mean, it's the hope, it's the purpose of it.
Yeah.
Right. And you see, people come from broken, hopeless things.
Yeah.
And, you see like the light come back in their eye.
Yeah.
And they're, I love it. You see, you see it in the kids, you see it in the families. Like it like when God's presence starts to get a hold of a family. Yeah. It makes all the difference in the world. And again, it's like it's like our job is to make room for people, for more and more people. I heard this story recently. It was, actually, this might be kind of gnarly. But it was this like, there was this pastor, he was kind of making this illustration. I don't know whatever, but he was saying how again, it's kind of gnarly. But he was thinking about, it was like a firefighter who went into a house that was burning down, and there was part of the family was like trapped in a room, and he like left. And the house burned down. They died, and so he got charged. But basically, it was like, as a firefighter, like your job is that like da da da. And this pastor gets up and goes, if you, as a believer, knowing the gospel, knowing the transforming power of the gospel, and you aren't on mission to share it with your friends and the people around you, you're no better than that firefighter. And it's like this idea of like you have the solution, like you have the thing that can heal people physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all that different stuff. And your life isn't bent towards making room for other people. It's like, you're like, how else are they going to know?
Right.
How else are they going to, how else are they going to get healed?
Right.
And again, our mission as a church is not to create holy huddles and, and, you know, Christian cliques and,
right.
you know, little faith, you know, powwows. It's like, yo, we like, this world is dying.
Yeah.
Jesus is coming back really soon. And the road to destruction is broad, but the path to eternal life is narrow.
Yeah.
And we have the solution, and we have to be on mission for people to experience it. Because I guess how else are they going to know? How else was this man going to get healed?
Exactly. Yeah. That's like in the message we talk about, like our faith matters in other people's lives. And our faith is displayed in so many ways, right? It's displayed in invitation. It's displayed in prayer for people. It's displayed in how we serve. It's displayed in how we give, you know, and all of it. Like that matters. It like your faith matters in the lives. Like my mom's faith impacted my life because she kept inviting me. She had faith that if she kept inviting me, I would say yes. Yeah. Eventually, right? And she had faith that if she could just get me in the room, right, I'd hear the gospel. Come on. And I did. I got saved, you know, like, right. So your faith really does matter. And I mean, kind of bringing it back to, again, giving financially, your money's a seed, scripturally. You sow a seed. Right. It matters. It's going to bear fruit. And we hold on to everything so tightly. We hold on to our time so tightly. We hold on to our finances so tightly, all of these resources. What if these guys, these foremen, and again, they just did it for one guy. Or they're like, it's just not worth it, bro. Right. It's just not worth, or I don't really want to expend the energy to carry him up the roof. Yeah. You know, well, we'll see. We'll just we'll just put him over there on the side, and then, you know, maybe we'll try to climb our way in there or whatnot. But, and this is our opportunity. Well, every day is an opportunity, really, right? But our opportunity to continue to do what we can to reach the world. Like, what is it? What does a man profit, right? To gain the world, but yet forfeit his soul. Right. And there's in the movie, like Schindler's List. Have you seen that? Yeah. I don't know. I think I've seen it. I can't remember, but I do remember. I think it's that last scene. I've seen like a lot of clips of it. It's a very clippable movie. It's a very clippable movie. But for those of you guys who don't know Schindler's List, it's about this guy. I forget his first name. Anyways, his last name is Schindler. Right? Yeah. I don't know. We're gonna go off this tangent. Anyways, I don't really. But anyways, he actually, like, he hit a lot of Jews and helped them escape and freedom and kept them out of concentration camps, or he would buy them from. I think he bought them from concentration camps. I'm completely destroying this right now. Anyways, the moral of the story is at the very end of the movie, he starts to look around at all of his stuff and realizes, if I would have gotten rid of that car, that's 2 more lives. Like, he just kind of has this moment of, like, I think he looks at his rings. He's like, yeah, these were lives. Dang. But we don't look at the way we spend our money as, man, these can really impact lives. Right. And you talked about it a little bit in the message, but it's an investment. It's a seed. It's what you do now, where you spend your money now, where you time, treasure, all that. Yeah. I think because we live in such a microwave culture where we're used to seeing results, so we want to see results and, like, you know, feedback right away. Yeah. But sometimes that's like, hey, like the feedback and the results and the fruit of this, it might come 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. Right. But you're still participating in that fruit, and you're still, like, you still have, you know what I mean? Like, you still get to, like, benefit from those things that you sowed years ago. Yep. And I think that maybe we underestimate the power of sowing into something that you may not even see, or you may not even reap the benefits from, but someone else does. So this is okay. If we think about financially, I hit this a while ago. I don't know when I hit it. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago, or maybe it's longer. But we have to see ourselves not as consumers,
right,
but as contributors. So what, like your money's, what are you contributing to?
Yeah.
Right. And then if we think about it, money is we contribute to things. And then we think about like, okay, well, I pay my mortgage, right? Or your rent or whatever. And then you give money to retirement because you have accounts. Like we all have accounts, bank accounts.
Right.
Well, maybe unless you stash your cash under a mattress, whatever. But like you have your savings account, you have your checking account,
right,
you have your retirement accounts, your 401s or 401ks, whatever. Paul in Philippians 4:17, when he's talking about them giving to him and taking care of him, he says in 4:17, "Not that I desire your gifts. What I desire is that it more be credited to your account."
Wow.
And he's not talking about on earth.
Right.
Isn't that crazy to think about?
Totally.
That like he's talking about being like generous,
that's crazy.
so that it's a kingdom principle. You give on earth, you reap in heaven. It's where your treasure is.
Right.
There your heart will also be.
Yeah.
Don't store up treasure here on earth where moth and rust destroy, but store up treasure in heaven. Isn't that wild to think about? Man, I might have an eternal account. Well, I wonder what it looks like.
Right.
You check your accounts.
Totally.
Yeah.
You
look like how much interest have I gained this month, or
Yeah.
like or like, dang, how did I dip $4,000 in this last little bit, or whatever it is, and then you go, oh, I wonder what it would be like to like click your Heaven app and be like, oh, ooh,
Yeah.
how am I negative this month? Or you know what I mean?
For
Like
sure.
pretty nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, like it's interesting because like you think about as a believer, right? Like the thing that like our relationship with God is really important, like
Yes.
and all that different stuff. But the thing, I think so much of the fruit of your life as a believer is again just the impact and influence that you have amongst those around you, and how you leverage that, again for either kingdom impact or cultural, whatever, worldly impact. And we have all these different tools to be able to do that. Some people, again, you just maybe you have a certain charisma about you or whatever the case is, or maybe you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, so you have employees or whatever the case is. Obviously, a lot of us we have kids, right? So parenting, that's a way. But like we all have time, and we all have money, different levels of it, but we all have time, talent, and treasures, right? And it's like how much you value those things versus how much you value being able to impact more people around you and reach more people around you, and like the people that you are in contact with have influence in their life. And it's like, if you value that more, then you see the money as a tool to be an impact to them, versus if you value the money more, then it's like, well, that might be too costly for me.
Yeah.
But it's not too costly if your priority is having influence and seeing people that you love encounter Jesus. Like I wonder what it was like for those guys to see him get up and pick up his mat and walk out. They're like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, it was worth it. Like, it was worth it.
It was worth it. I do think a lot about that. I mean, probably because I'm a pastor, right? But when I do see that or hear about the lives being changed, or all of it's crazy. Like with what we're doing right now, all of the testimonies we're getting from people watching this, all the testimonies that we get for being online, and that are in other states, but they're like, they found a community in rhythm, and they love, like, they're like every Sunday, our family or families sit down and watch church, and are together, and that came because financially we had to invest in equipment to make it happen.
Totally.
to make the worship experience better and sound better. That happened because people gave financially to that.
That's right.
And it makes an impact. It's because a lot of times people, it's so funny, bro, how people will waste their time and hold on to their money or save their money, or like even this, they'll be like, I don't give money out, but I'll give my time, which is great. We do want you to serve. We need that. But what's wild is that time is your non-renewable resource.
Right.
You don't get any more of that.
Right.
And I'm not saying don't serve, because y'all should serve. It's biblical to do so. But it is funny that people will, in their mind, they think that they can, like, I don't want to give money, so I'll give my time. That's like, you can always make more money.
Right. That's right.
It's out there.
Yeah.
But you can't get more time.
Yeah.
So it's really, it's like a mind shift that has to take place. And it does show how tight of a grip money has on people. And that's the only thing in Scripture that I think actually like sets it up as a competition between the Lord.
We in Wednesday morning prayer, because I led it. That was one of the things that we prayed for, was just we were in preparation for this weekend, just praying for that idol, because I think that's a very specific idol in people's lives, and it, like any idol, but I think that idol in particular really hinders people from being able to experience the fullness of what God has for them. Because oftentimes whenever we see it, like when Jesus talks about, again, we talked about last week in our If I Had More Time, but the rich young ruler, he would have experienced what he held on to his stuff, his money, and by doing that, he gave up the better thing. Yeah. He would have experienced so much more fullness, and it may not have been monetary value, but value in what Jesus was offering. But he missed out. And like you think about it again, it's like the cost of holding on to your idol is that you miss out on what God is, what Jesus is offering. Yeah. And like, it's better. Yeah. It's always better. And there's the trick that the enemy will play, the trick that this world plays, is that the stuff and the money, like, that's better. Like, you'll miss out if you give up your money, or if you sow into that, or you're gonna miss out. And it's like, no, you're actually missing out on the better thing.
Think about this too. How like money is oftentimes one of the major causes of divorce.
It's one of
when it's like one of the top,
one A it's infidelity or sexual things, and two is money. So people will allow money to destroy their covenant relationship, their second most important relationship they'll ever experience. That's right. Between except for them and the Lord, is them and their spouse, and they'll let money destroy that. Right. Or they'll let money come, like, dude, this is so wild. Money destroys families. Yeah. Like a parent dies, and it comes time to like who gets what for the inheritance, an estate or something,
and all of a sudden they're bickering, and they're mad. Well, I deserve this, and I get this, and they get like all weird and sideways with each other. Won't talk for over money. Yeah. How many friendships have been ruined because, bro, you owe me $20?
Yeah, yeah, for sure,
over $20.
Dude, you know what's funny? I listened to like a lot of like Dave Ramsey like phone calls and stuff, whatever. But there was this one that was so funny, because this guy calls in and he's like, "Yo, I won the lottery." And he goes, I can't tell anybody, because he says, I know if I tell them I won the money, I'll always relationships. And I was like, you just won the lottery, and he couldn't tell anybody. Bro, think about that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're just, which makes me think. I there's a meme out there that I saw. It was like all these cameras, and it said like, if I ever won the lottery, I wouldn't tell anyone, but there'd be signs. It's like a person with all these cameras. But it's like, it does. It destroys families. It destroys relationships. Even think about something silly as like, the bands that have broken up just because, someone. It's like, and again, money isn't evil. No. But if you have it in the wrong place in your life, if it sits on the throne of your life and your decision making, it will, even just in earthly ways, will keep you away from the better thing. And when it comes to the kingdom of God, it will also keep you away from experiencing what God has for you, which is always better. Yeah. Always better. Always better.
Always better, man. Yeah. Always better. That's just such a trip when you really start to dive into it. And it shows really a scarcity mindset that people hold.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking that too when you're just talking. I think that's prevalent in the church.
Oh, for sure.
Like people, I think
it's just prevalent in America, really.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah. But I think like in corporate America and stuff, like I think people understand investing and
for sure.
know,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
like,
definitely. Yeah.
You know, but I think even within church, like I think it's interesting. Be careful how I say this. I think it's important for the church to be transparent.
Yes.
But it's like, you know, sometimes it's like always trying to justify everything. It's like, yo, like we're trying to reach more people.
Yeah.
And so like buying cameras or buying things, whatever. It's because we want to reach more people.
Yes.
And it's not about you know, pastor salaries or people, you know, whatever, people getting rich, whatever.
Yeah.
But there is a cost to ministry. There is a cost to making room. There is a cost to, you know, growth and expansion, all that different stuff. And I pray I'm never the type of person that like I would withhold my time, my finances, my influence, whatever, for the sake of the gospel being advanced.
Yeah.
And if it comes down to, you know, a nicer car, a nicer house, nicer thing, or seeing the kingdom advance, I would hope.
Oh, you would hope, yeah.
That you know, my heart would never get hardened to the sense to the opportunity to partner with what the Spirit's doing. Because when you get to see it, like, you know, again, like, even for me, like, I mean, I work here, so that's one dynamic of it for sure. But there's also an element of when I get to see families and see people restored and see this stuff, and I go, yeah, I don't know what else I could have, what other vacation or thing I could have done, but it can't compare to seeing that.
No,
it just can't compare.
It can't, dude. It's so trippy, bro. It's, you know, I maybe kind of going back to a point that I thought I was making. I don't know if I ever made it, but got it off on that kind of trail thing. But no, I think I'm losing my train of thought again. That like people don't naturally equate where, you know, it's their money. Where's my money going?
Right.
Well, I thought you gave it to the Lord.
Yeah.
First. Secondly, look around.
right.
You know, like remember you were complaining about how hot it was at the 11:30, and well, we got AC.
Yeah,
that's where some of the money went.
Right,
you know?
right, for sure.
So that we could all sit here and hear, you know, the word of the Lord without thinking about how sweaty or stinky we are.
Right.
Or and you know, that's so shallow. Well, your people are shallow. You know? Like, but we're trying to reach people that are shallow. Or you know, well, where does the money go? Well, didn't you just drop your kids into kids ministry?
Right.
Because the curriculum doesn't pay for itself, and those chairs that they're sitting on cost money,
right? And
the crackers that they're eating for snack, you know, like there is a cost to doing this for sure, but people just won't click. But it is interesting again. But like when you talk about giving to something that helps, and they go, oh, okay,
right.
Like people will give more out of compassion than they will.
It's like a cause.
Yeah, it's like they give like a cause or something. But I'm like, what's the best cause ever? The cause of Christ.
Right. So,
you know, now bringing it back to the sermon, Mark chapter 2. There was an indirect cost to Peter. Because it's his house. His house is packed with people.
Right.
And there's a hole in his roof. There's a hole. There, like that's costly.
There's an old like kids Sunday school song. Oh man, we just talk about that. There's a hole in my roof. But there was an old like Christian video. Yeah, I gotta find it now. But yeah, bro. I kind of. But yeah, it's like there's a hole in my roof.
There's a hole in my roof, dude. There's a hole in my roof, and I gotta fix it.
Do you imagine?
You imagine some more
laying
fish.
down in your bed at night and just looking up like,
all right.
That wasn't there last night, but there. Yeah, thanks guys. Yeah.
But I got to watch a guy get healed.
Come on,
that's dope. You know, like, that is so funny, dude. There's a hole in my roof. I don't know how Jesus taught through that, man. I've just been like, what the heck?
Yeah.
But he was reached.
I also think I think it just speaks to desperation. You know what I mean? Like when
Yeah.
you're desperate for a move, a touch of God, like
You'll tear a ceiling off.
Yeah, and I think that like again, because you I loved how you equated it in your message. You said, we are the guys.
We're the
you know what I mean, the guys that are letting them down. Like, I would hope that as a church, and I think that's maybe like it's a desperation.
Yeah.
Like when you're as a church, when you're desperate for your in your own life, but then also maybe you're desperate for it to happen in your, when you have, like there are some friends and people in my life, and every Easter, every Christmas, every opportunity, I mean, it's like, man, hey bro, go to churches again. I would love to see you. And like when you're desperate, like you will make every invitation, opportunity. You know what I mean? You invest this because you want to see them. Like, I don't want to die and go to heaven and you're not there.
Yeah, dude.
And like, and you're just that desperation. So I think when people or a group or generation is desperate enough, again, they'll claw through a ceiling,
dude. And
they'll say, hey, whatever influence, resource I have, take it. And I think that I think what's dope, what we're seeing in America, certainly here in North County and in our region, is we're seeing a desperation.
Yeah.
And we're seeing people who are hungry. I think we're seeing people who are hungry, right? It's back to the beginning of the year. The harvest is plentiful, right? Yep. But the workers have to be.
We got to get the workers.
Like desperate and willing to go, well, whatever the cost is, we'll do it.
Whatever it costs.
Because being a worker is costly.
Yeah.
It
100% is. 100% it is. Man. And ultimately, I don't know if I did say this, but like Jesus gets the glory.
Come on. Right.
They said that like the guy picks up his mat and walks out, but Jesus is like, they were amazed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus is glorified.
Yeah.
And that's the ultimate, man. That's what we want. We want Jesus glorified.
Absolutely.
So we're going to rip roofs off. We're going to tear off the roof. We're going to do whatever we have to do to keep making more room so that more people can find Jesus. And that's just what we're going to do. Legacy offering.
Yeah.
Mark chapter 2.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I wanted to make sure to say this too, as we kind of maybe wind everything down, is that for those of you who are, watching this podcast, and whether you're watching because you live locally, or maybe even you're from afar, like you are also part of like the Rhythm Church family. And like we want to extend that invitation for all of you to also participate in our legacy offering, and again what we're doing in 2026 as we make room. Because some of you might be watching this video because someone else was faithful and made room for those online. Right. The online thing is so interesting because in a room there's so much physical, there's a physical tactileness to it. You can see the chairs filling up, and whatnot, and we work really hard to like I check the stats every week of online, but there still is like an element of like, okay, there's people watching in this country, like, okay, I've never met them, like I don't know, like and whatnot. That's crazy. But like we want to make room, and so when we looked at online in the last couple of years, we were like, hey, there's space. There's an opportunity there for us to make room for people online. Yeah. So you might be watching, and like I said, we a couple stories even this week that we get to see people write in, which is really cool.
Super cool.
I love reading those. But people are feeling like they get to partake in what's happening here at Rhythm because someone else helped make room for them. And so I think that like, for those of you who are watching, listening, however you're ingesting this podcast, the invitation is there for you as well. And we're wanting to, again, the same heart for making room physically here. It's not just a physical here on campus, although we definitely have to make a lot of room here too. It's same for online. It's same for those who are watching, whether you're watching on Sundays and watching, our other content midweek. We're thinking, dreaming, believing for 26. We're gonna even see more growth in this area, and the Lord can reach, restore, and heal people on a screen online.
Yep.
Just like you can in the room.
Yep.
And we like again, we get to a physical church and we believe in all that, like that. That's really important. But again, we're seeing stories of people going. Maybe they ended up in a church, but how they first interacted with us or interfaces might have been online, and so like
a lot of people,
and so like that's us that's a way for us to make room for them too, as through online. So
what's crazy to think about, as we do land this plane, this pod, is for the amount of people that we do have in the room, how many rooms are out there as far as like the amount of views our sermons get,
right?
If you if we look at the amount of views and then you go, okay, if whole families are sitting down to watch,
right,
and then there's got to be individuals and stuff. We don't like when we look at our views, we actually record our views into it like an attendance thing, and that isn't a part of what's in the room attendance, but it's just a different thing. But if you use a multiplier, and if you used a safe multiplier of 2 or 1.5, whatever, there's just as many people on the screen as there are in the room.
That's right.
That's pretty wild to think about.
Yeah.
And so like this is just as important, really, because it's reaching, it's all that. So that's again why we did for Last Legacy invest a lot, and we'll continue to, because it was big during COVID, but we talked about being digital missionaries.
Right.
And the amount of, and I think about the social media and like YouTube spaces like real estate. And I want more believers to take up that, to own that real estate,
right? To
take it up with good theology, please. It's huge. But to think about how many people are reached from a screen, how many, like now, how many people can get saved from a clip. Yeah. And so that's why, again, for you guys to share these videos and to share sermons and all of that is radically important. Yeah. Thinking of a friend that as you hear a message and you go, man, this would encourage them, or wow, this would like shed some light on where they're at in life and they're not saved, and share with them, be surprised, man. Right. So I think if we can be more intentional, I was just kind of thinking about this, but if we can be more intentional about like, as we make room, even thinking beyond our city, beyond our walls, and we're thinking online. Yeah. Do it. Share it.
Come on.
Share this stuff.
So
get rolling.
So good.
Cool.
Well,
next week, back in Acts.
Back in Acts.
Back in Acts.
Yeah.
Acts chapter 27. Shipwrecks. Boats, storms. Paul. As we
wind down of 2026
2025
and going into 2026 and Acts, and what a great year it's been. But super good. Hey, if you stuck around to the end, we're so thankful that you did. Go ahead and type legacy in the chat. Man, we're really thankful for all of you who are watching, partaking, sharing, listening, liking, and again, we say it all the time, but it's so cool to hear you guys share your stories and testimonies about how this our online stuff that blesses you, and so we consider you part of the Rhythm family as always. But thanks so much.
I know we've talked about it many times. We've kind of like never done it yet. The Q&A video.
I know
it is coming.
It's coming.
We've just been really busy.
December, maybe not December was the best time to do that. But
it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
And it is. So we're excited about that. But we'll see you guys next week as we continue on If I Had More Time podcast and Acts. And hope you guys have an amazing week.